Hi, today is August 12th, 2026, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1244 for the year, I Won't Be Tricked. Peeking out between two buildings, the sun looks like it's setting, but it isn't fooling anyone. That there's the East River, and God in heaven, I know what time it is, about 6:45. So I won't be tricked by my lying eyes. Surely I know that's a sunrise. And don't you be fooled either, my friend, and I'm sorry I called you Shirley again. Poem number 1245, Gott in Himmel. I can't say God in heaven without thinking of how I first encountered the phrase. First heard it in German in the Katzenjammer Kids, when the kids would pull some zany stunt and the captain would yell out, Gott im Himmel. Although I identified more with the kids than the captain, I did enjoy stomping around the living room yelling, Gott im Himmel. Gott im Himmel. I didn't even know what it meant. I just knew it was a lot of fun to say, and so I said it over and over. Then as now, I was easily amused. When Kurt Cobain sang I Wish I Was Like You, easily amused, he could have been singing about me. He wasn't, but he could have been. Poem number 1246, Mott the Hoople. And then what happened next was that Gott im Himmel made me think of Mott the Hoople. And then I thought, that was a weird name for a band, and I wonder where it came from. And get this, when the band, which was then called Silence, signed to Island Records, the label guy, Guy Stevens, somehow convinced them to change their name to Mott the Hoople because he had read a book when he was in prison for drugs called Mott the Hoople. But get this, the author of that book, Willard Manus, basically named the book after Martha Hoople, who was a character in not the Katzenjammer Kids, but in another comic strip completely called Our Boarding House. Alright, maybe that's not so amazing, but it did kind of blow my mind for a second just now. Poem number 1247, Get Together. I was thinking about how if we all got together, then we'd probably end up one congealed mass of blood, bone, and flesh. I don't know if we'd be able to get anything done, and with all of us together, perhaps we would grow quite sick of each other and resentful. So, while I like that Youngbloods song, I think it's a good idea for us to try to love one another, I don't know if I think we should get together. I'm actually thinking it might be a very bad idea. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1248, Not Tired. He was tired of not being tired all the time. He was tired of the optimism that made him say yes to everything, and that he strongly suspected was the result of his constantly feeling awake and fully alive. It was as if a flashlight with the brightness of the sun was shining in his eyes all the fucking time, as if every moment sounded like the second movement of Beethoven's Ninth, as if his fingers and toes had lives of their own, as if every movement he made was a dance, and every word he uttered another poem or prayer or ode to joy. He was tired of not being tired, so he stayed up all night and all of the next day, and then finally fell asleep around 11:30 that following night. And he had to admit, just before he drifted off, that he was tired. But he was certain that when he woke up the next morning, he would feel refreshed and alive and alert, and not in the least bit tired. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.